These are 4 tasks encompassing different types of relational reasoning. Relational reasoning is the ability to recognize or derive meaningful relations between and among pieces of information that would otherwise appear unrelated. You probably did some of this automatically yourself. I expect you've even started working your way through the tasks already. The first task tests analogical reasoning. If the pattern is 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots, then the same must be true for the triangles, using an analogy to predict an outcome. The second task tests anomalous reasoning. Individuals must first discern the core similarities that define a set of objects, ideas, or events, and then identify a member or members of that set that markedly differ in terms of some key attribute or feature. The third task tests antinomous reasoning. Individuals must make a categorical or binary determination as to whether some object, idea, or event shares the defining attributes of a given set or not. Finally, the fourth task tests antithesis reasoning. This entails the determination of where along a particular continuum specific objects, ideas, or events can be situated based on comparable attributes. I actually don't like this one. As a maths teacher, I can use logic-based arguments to reason that each A, B, and C could be opposites. These tests are part of what is called Test of Relational Reasoning Junior. This study from Mind, Brain and Education examines relational reasoning development in typical and atypical education histories. The authors concur that relational reasoning implicates the prefrontal cortex of the brain associated with executive function. Because this is the last region of the brain to undergo myelination, relational reasoning has a protracted developmental trajectory that continues to mature into late adolescence or early adulthood. Social, cultural, experiential, and environmental factors can also shape the course of individuals' mental functioning, including their ability to reason relationally. The study looked at 3 groups: young adolescents, older adults who were born during or shortly after the Korean War and had typical schooling, and similar older adults, but who never received middle school or high school diplomas. The study wanted to compare relational reasoning performance in the groups, test for differences in analogical, anomalous, antinomous, and antithetical reasoning performance, and explore the potential influence of formal education and social experiences on relational reasoning development. Atypical adults received the lowest score and for all 4 scales. By comparison, the young adolescents recorded the highest scores, with the exception of the anomaly scale. On this scale, the typical adults received the highest. It is worth noting that the atypical adults' best performance was on the analogy scale, a pattern repeated for the adolescents and typical adults. Another pattern that held across the 3 groups was the challenge posed by the antithetical reasoning items. Atypical adults had significantly lower scores than either the adolescents and their typical age peers. The overall performance for the young adolescents and typical adults was statistically comparable. While the significant difference for the anomaly scale was attributable to higher scores for the typical adults than for the adolescents, it was the young adolescents who scored significantly higher than the typical adults in the antinomy scale. Relational reasoning ability cannot be ascribed solely to neurobiological maturation. The continued focus on analogies as the almost exclusive measure of relational reasoning may well mask important differences that may occur as a consequence of neurobiological, cognitive, educational, or social factors. When the relational reasoning task is fluid and does not emphasize crystallized knowledge and skills, older adults can potentially perform as well, or better than, young adolescents, depending on the form tested. Societal and cultural biases that restrict individuals' access to critical education and social experiences can negatively affect relational reasoning development. There are implications for both education and educators from this study. Schools and educational systems must be aware that relational reasoning is something that develops for longer than the schooling experience. As the part of the brain responsible develops beyond school age, it is especially important that we allow the foundations to be built and built strongly before students leave school so that they can continue to grow upon this base. Evidently, social and cultural factors impact relational reasoning development. To provide equal opportunities for all, as education strives to do, awareness of what factors stifle development is vital. To mitigate this disadvantage, allocating necessary resources can see all students have equal opportunities, not only for themselves, but also so that what has held them back doesn't stop them from contributing as much as their potential allows. Each type of reasoning enhances thinking ability, but where are the opportunities to develop these in modern curriculum? Building the brain's capacity should be a more valued educational outcome rather than the attainment of crystallized knowledge, given the difficulty to develop and the value in wider contexts. Few curricula reflect this when placed under the strain of standardized testing. The results indicate that we build up some forms of reasoning more than others. Teachers and educators should be aware of the differences, know the differences, and be able to develop activities that extend students' abilities in each form of reasoning. Finally, focusing on curriculum points alone does not develop all of what education can provide. We must not lose sight of the broader development of the brain when educating, as we myopically teach exclusively to curricula and to standardized tests. Much credit to all of the sources and authors from which I reported on their work. For further information, please feel free to leave a note in the comments. If you found this video helpful or informative, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos on educational neuroscience, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.